Righto, g'day everyone. Thought I'd give you a rundown on the equipment I take for different prospecting trips that we do. I've got 3 different kits that I use, and I'll run you through them. First one is just when I'm going to test a spot. I don't take much. I take a small bag, 1 sieve, 1 pan, 1 shovel, and my little catchment jar. That's it. I standardly use 1/4 inch mesh. Works a treat. Little shovel that fits in the backpack absolutely perfectly. And your standard black pan. So that's me quick day trip pack. It all goes into a little green bag, slings over my shoulder, works a treat. When I find a spot that's got good colour in it, I use my homemade sluice. Built from the bottom of a screen door and just crap I had laying around. You pop this part out here and you can disassemble it all to tip it into your bucket. That bucket goes with it, and another pan just for catching my secondaries. I also made a fitment for my Yabby pump that's detachable with 1 wing nut, and yeah, that thing works actually surprisingly well. When you're working crevices and whatnot, and all this fits into me 100 litre backpack. When I take everything, I always take my metal detector. It's an Xterra 705, surprisingly good little machine. It's lightweight, the batteries last for 3 or 4 days. I'm dumbfounded at what it actually finds. I've found targets 2 feet down with the thing, and they reckon that it won't do that, but it does, so, you know, awesome. It's interesting when you go prospecting here in Tasmania, because we have such a varied terrain. You've got everything from really thick forests right through to button grass plains. Cliffs, valleys, they're just all epic, and when it floods pretty quick, so you've got to be particularly careful. There's no phone service. Very rarely can your GPS pick anything up, and if it does, it's intermittent and not accurate. I always take hard maps, paper maps. They're already flat, they fold up a tree, keep them in a bag. Very seldom you get lost, really lost here in Tassie. If you do, well, you weren't planning ahead. Probably the biggest thing that I've found when I'm prospecting, especially alone, I do a lot of solo trips, is to make sure I let people know where I'm going accurately. So I leave my wife the hard copies of the maps here with it pinpointed where I'm going, and also I let a couple of my mates know. Most of my mates at different times have been to where I go, and they've got a rough idea of where I'm going to be. So if I'm not back by tea time, or you know, whatever specified time I've given them, someone will come looking. But yeah, that's a bit of a rundown on some of my kit. Happy prospecting. Probably all seen my buggies and my boats and stuff, and other crap that I build to get into these places, but there's a reason I build this stuff. Predominantly, it's because I don't like walking. The buggy can carry more stuff than I can. When I'm just going on a quick detecting trip, I generally take a little XR100, because it's a donkey. It'll go everywhere, but you can carry not much stuff with it. When I've got to go a bit further afield, I take the big black girl. That can carry a lot more stuff. That's a Honda Trans Alp. Hauls balls, and I can fit all my day pack gear on there, plus some food, plus some beer. Works a treat. But the spot I want to get into lately is what I built the buggy for. And I built this thing because I need to carry all my gear, and there's only so much you can take on a bike. That will take everything, including overnight gear, 12 volt gear, so I can keep my batteries charged on the phone and cameras and whatnot. Swag, chairs, barbie equipment, everything fits onto the treat. So it's ready. And from what I've worked out so far, everything's going to fit. Tarps fit, chair fits, my sluice sits in the back of it, swag fits, all my cooking gear sits underneath that, spare fuel. She's ready. So where I just got that shot from that rock, when I want to go back there, this is the tool to get in there, because I need to carry more gear, and I can't just get in there on the bike over and over again because it's kicking me ass. But the track end is too tight for 4-wheel drive, and it's quite steep, so that's why I've geared this thing low, so it can pull up them hills. The only other thing I've got to fit to it is a winch, and then when it does get hooked up, well, I can just yoink it up a tree, and yeah, it should be really good. So, hope that helps with your prospecting and planning. You've got to have a varied kit, you've got to have all sorts of stuff, and you don't know until you go. So go. And that's what we're looking for. This is what we're looking for. That's only a little bucket, but there's some good sized chunks in there. That's the stuff we're after. Beautiful Tassie gold. Is the hard rock deposits of where I've been getting a good colour. I tend to loam that stuff all the way up to where I get real good colour, looking for quartz. The other day I came across this. It's swinging AU on the detector, but how much is in it amongst the pyrites, I'm not sure. Not a bad sample. Not a bad sample at all. And this was found at the bottom of a cliff face with a big vein running through it, and that was about 2 foot thick. I managed to chip this piece off, but you can see the gold in amongst the pyrites. It was a mixed signal, and there's a bit of copper in it as well, so it's yeah, it's a good lump of rock, and there's tons of it there, but it was all fairly hard. I had to bash it apart pretty vigorously with the 10-pound hammer, and that's a bastard to lug in. But anyway, we're going just downstream from that this week with old mate David Buckle and Captain Poke, and we'll see what we come across. I can't wait.